So today's topic is electronics manufacturing in India. So recently, the cabinet has approved three important schemes related to electronics manufacturing in India. Even today's Hindu newspaper, the business page says electronics incentive schemes launched by the IT ministry. So these schemes have a potential to boost manufacturing of mobiles in India. So in this context, we'll try to see what are these three schemes related to electronics manufacturing, what is the significance of these schemes, and what are the challenges in improving the electronic manufacturing and what should be the way forward, right? So to start with, the three important schemes related to electronics manufacturing, the first important scheme is production linked incentive scheme. Production linked incentive scheme, right? So this scheme is basically a financial assistance that is given to the domestic industries that are manufacturing these electronics. It is a financial incentive scheme. Financial assistance is given to the domestic electronic manufacturing industries of India, right? So this is the first point. And the second point about this scheme is this scheme budget is around 40,000 crores. This we have to just have a broad idea. And what does this scheme do? Financial assistance to domestic industries means it gives grants, it gives loans at cheaper rates, right? It gives some capital. So these are different ways in which government is basically trying to give financial assistance to this domestic electronic industries. Now, the government is trying to give this financial benefits till 5 years. So under this production linked incentive scheme for domestic electronic manufacturing industries, till 5 years, the government is giving financial assistance. Right? So broadly, this we have to know. And which ministry is implementing these schemes? Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. MEITY, MIT, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. That takes care of all the things related to electronics manufacturing. So the first one is production linked incentive scheme. We have discussed what it does, and it actually focuses more on mobile phones and specific electronic components manufacturing. All the industries in India which actually deal with manufacturing mobile phones and specified electronic components. For these industries, the government is giving financial incentive through this production linked incentive scheme, right? So this is the first scheme. Now the second scheme is SPECS, SPECS, SPECS. What is this scheme? This SPECS full form is Scheme for Promotion of Manufacturing of Electronic Components and Semiconductors. Now to make any electronic device, a mobile phone, a tab, or a laptop, or any other electronic gadget, we need some electronic equipments, right? We need some electronic components. So this scheme basically deals with manufacturing of electronic components and the semiconductors that are required to manufacture mobile phones. So that's where the SPECS is Scheme for Promotion of Manufacturing of Electronic Components and Semiconductors. The first scheme deals about mobile phones and specified electronic components. This scheme particularly deals about electronic components and semiconductors. Now, what is government trying to do under this scheme? Under this scheme, the government is trying to give financial incentive to all those industries which basically manufacture this electronic components. They don't make the final products, they make the electronic components which are required to make the final product. So for this electronic components manufacturing, the government is giving financial assistance. How is it giving? It is giving financial assistance in terms of 25% capital expenditure. Now capital means to set up any industry, we need land, we need labor, and we need capital. Capital is, to simply say, all the machinery that is required to make a product. Capital expenditure means all the money that is invested in making, in buying the machines that are required to make the product. So for this capital expenditure, the government is saying that it will take the burden of 25% capital expenditure for all these industries, right? So this industry focuses on intermediate electronic components, right? So this is the second scheme. And the third scheme is EMC 2.0. EMC 2.0. That means Modified Electronics Manufacturing Cluster Scheme. Modified Electronics Manufacturing Cluster Scheme. Now the philosophy behind this scheme is, rather than keeping one industry at different locations, we have to dedicate a complete area specifically to electronics manufacturing, so that all the industries that are related to electronic manufacturing will be at one place. Right? So this actually improves or brings down the cost of the products, right? And also in an effective way, we can improve the electronics manufacturing if all the industries are at one place. So this is the philosophy behind this scheme, EMC 2.0. Now what does government do under this scheme? Under this EMC 2.0, government tries to give financial assistance up to 50% of the project cost, right? So financial assistance up to 50% of project cost. And also government is planning to make 200 acres across India, to contribute 200 acres across India for these clusters, for developing these clusters. Clusters means a group of industries in a particular area. So government is planning to dedicate 200 acres across India for developing these clusters, especially 100 acres in the northeast part of the India. 100 acres in the northeast part of India. So in this way, these three schemes are being introduced by the government. One scheme talks about developing the manufacturing of intermediate electronic components. Another scheme talks about manufacturing of mobile phones and all the final products. Another scheme talks about cluster development, so that all the electronics industries are at one place. So these are three schemes. The first one is production linked incentive scheme. Second one is specs. And the third one is EMC 2.0. Now what are the benefits? Now this, as we have discussed, is important with respect to prelims. Now with respect to mains, we have to know what are the benefits of introducing such schemes, and what is the significance of electronic manufacturing. Why is Government of India putting more emphasis on electronics manufacturing? The first important thing is, even the government in today's newspaper and also in PIB, it says that by giving more push on electronics manufacturing, government is estimating that it can attract 1 lakh crore investment in this sector, private investment, right? So this much investment it is estimating by giving push in electronics manufacturing. 1 lakh crore investment in the sector by implementing these schemes. That is the first objective. The second objective is, it is estimating that by giving more push to electronics manufacturing, it can create 20 lakh direct and indirect jobs. Employment potential is more in electronics manufacturing. Up to 20 lakh direct and indirect jobs it is planning to provide. It is estimating that these many jobs will be generated if electronics manufacturing is given more push. This is a second benefit. The third benefit is, by keeping some dedicated schemes for domestic electronic manufacturing, we can boost or improve our domestic electronic manufacturing sector. Like if we see, most of the electronic products are being imported to India. Almost 60 to 70% of the electronics market in India is basically imported. Now, unlike this, the government is trying to give push to local products, local electronics manufacturing. So by implementing such schemes, we can definitely increase local manufacturing of electronics in India. That is the third benefit. Now, what is the other benefit? And also, if we see, presently we have this economic slowdown. Now, if we are able to attract that 1 lakh crore investment in this sector and also give 20 lakh direct and indirect jobs, obviously economic slowdown, we can bring India out of the economic slowdown. So we can connect this electronics manufacturing to contribution to the GDP also. This is the fourth point. And the other important point is, electronics manufacturing must be connected to Digital India Mission. Now, we know that government is giving a significant push to Digital India Mission. That means giving services to almost the entire country through digital means. Providing services through digital means. This has a lot of potential. This is an important flagship scheme of the Government of India, Digital India Mission. So electronics manufacturing is a backbone for the success of this Digital India Mission, right? So by focusing more on electronics manufacturing, this definitely contributes to Digital India mission also. We can produce the entire digital infrastructure which we require. See, for success of Digital India mission, we need gadgets, right? And we need internet. To provide that, we need again some infrastructure. All this infrastructure as of now, mostly we are importing. Rather than importing, if we give local more dominance and give more push to local manufacturing, definitely that would make Digital India success in a easier way and a faster way, right? So we have to connect to the Digital India mission also. The other dimension to this is, by focusing more on electronics manufacturing, by giving more push that we have to produce our electronic products and gadgets in India itself, one big advantage for this is indigenization of technologies. Indigenization of technologies. That means producing all the technologies and infrastructure on our own. Now this actually reduces cyber attacks up to a major extent. When all the gadgets, the hardware is produced by India itself, there are less chances that this infrastructure will be prone to cyber attacks, right? So cyber security dimension also, we can relate this electronics manufacturing. By giving more push to local electronics manufacturing, we can actually encourage indigenization of technologies and infrastructure. So these are some of the points: attracting investments, creating more jobs, giving boost to local manufacturing, right? And contribution to GDP, contribution to Digital India mission, and also leading to indigenization and reducing the cyber attacks chances. So these are some of the benefits. And what are the challenges in electronics manufacturing? Now it's good that government is coming up with some important schemes to give more push to electronics manufacturing in India. But still there are some challenges in electronics manufacturing in our country. The first challenge is, if we see or analyze these three schemes focus basically on improving financial assistance to the industries. But apart from financial assistance, there are a lot more challenges that the industries face. The first one is land issues, land acquisition issues, registration of properties issues, right? Logistics issues, transport issues, and also enforcing contracts. So all these which I have mentioned are part of ease of doing business. Now financial assistance is not the only criteria for setting up an industry easily in India. There are many other factors which actually affect manufacturing. So some of the things which I have mentioned, the land reforms, the labor reforms, the logistics issues, properties registration. So the ease of doing business has to be improved further. There are some dimensions in the ease of doing business where India still needs to work. Not only financial assistance, but all these things also have to be taken care of. Only then electronics manufacturing will be success in India, right? So this is the first thing. So apart from financial assistance, there are other challenges which the companies face. We have discussed. This is the first dimension. The second thing is inverted duty structure. Inverted duty structure problem. Now, what is this inverted duty structure problem? This problem is not only for electronics, but also for other some sectors of industries also. What is this inverted duty tax structure problem? This is basically the taxes which are imposed on the inputs or the raw materials is more than the taxes that are imposed on the final products. So inverted duty structure means duty is nothing but the tax which they impose on the products. Now assume we are procuring imports of Chinese mobiles, and also we are procuring some inputs also to make mobile in the country. Now for the raw materials, the government is imposing more taxes than the final products. Now think, if the taxes on the raw materials is more, obviously the final cost of the product will be more. Now definitely that will be costlier than the cheap Chinese mobiles which are coming into the market. So this is the problem. Raw materials are being taxed more than the final products, right? So this is known as inverted duty structure. When raw materials are taxed more, obviously it is difficult for our domestic industries to use those raw materials and make products. Obviously the cost will be more. definitely more than the cheaper Chinese mobiles, right? So this is the second problem, inverted duty structure, right? And the third problem is heavy competition and dumping from the Chinese markets. As we know, China dumps things in India, dumps products. So it is very difficult for our domestic manufacturing industries to compete with such competitive, price competitive Chinese products. That is the third important challenge. A large market share is captured by China in electronics manufacturing. So that is also a major challenge for improving our domestic electronics manufacturing. What is the other challenge? Now to counter these Chinese products or other competitors, we need to make our products competitive. For that, definitely we need some research and development in the production process. Only when we come up with some innovation in the manufacturing process, and if we are able to reduce the cost of the product, only then our local products will be competitive than the cheap imports which we are getting, imported products. Right now, that is possible only when we invest more in research and development activities. Unfortunately, the contribution given by the government of India to R&D, research and development sector, has to be improved more. Right, so this is the fourth challenge. Significant research and development has to be there in the production processes. Only then we can come up with some innovative things, and only then we can make our local products more competitive. That is the other challenge. And the last challenge is lack of rare earth minerals. Now these rare earth minerals are basically important for manufacturing electronic products. So there also China has a huge reservoir of these rare earth minerals. Unfortunately, India has only up to some extent of these rare earth minerals. Mostly we are importing them, right? So that is also a challenge, availability of rare earth minerals. Now we are importing them, and we know we are keeping inverted duty structure. That means the raw materials which we are trying to import, they are being taxed more. When they are taxed more, the final product cost will definitely be more. Then our competitiveness will reduce in the global markets. So these are some of the challenges. Other dimensions of ease of doing business have to be taken care of. Inverted duty structure, heavy competition from Chinese products, and R&D activities have to be improved, and also lack of rare earth minerals, right? So these are some of the challenges. Now, what should be the way forward to improve this electronics manufacturing? The first thing is we have to, by hook or crook, reduce our production costs and improve the competitiveness of our products. Only then we can replace the cheaper products which are existing in India. Only then we can improve our local products. Now, how is that possible? Some structural reforms need to be brought. Structural reforms, right? So this is the first thing. Some structural reforms which we have discussed as part of ease of doing business, all those things have to be done. This is the first point. Second point is that this inverted duty structure problem has to be solved. Only when it is solved, our products also will be competitive in the market. That is the second thing. Inverted duty structure problem has to be resolved, right? Final products should have tax more than the raw materials. Raw materials should not be taxed more than the final products. This has to be rectified. The third thing is special economic zones. Special economic zones have to be more encouraged or boosted. Why special economic zones? Because these are the zones where the laws and regulations of our country are relaxed, so that companies can easily set up business, right? When compliance to laws and regulations is less, companies can easily manufacture, and obviously the product cost also will be less. It will be profitable for the company also, and also production also will improve. So special economic zones, export potential has to be increased. Special economic zones based manufacturing has to be improved. This is the third way forward. The other way forward is, as we have already discussed, research and development has to be improved. Research and development, both private participation and also government's contribution to research and development also should improve. It should allocate more funds to research and development, right? Only then we can come up with innovative products. Only when we have innovative products, our products will be competitive. Only then the local manufacturing will improve. So these are some of the suggestions as to how to take electronics manufacture to way forward. Now, to conclude this electronics manufacturing, definitely we can relate this electronic manufacturing to artificial intelligence and the fourth industrial revolution which we talk about. Now the fourth industrial revolution is the fourth wave of industrial revolution. Under this we say that India will be using artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, blockchain, all the latest technologies to completely automate as many activities as possible, to go for automation. So robots will be doing all the things. Now for all this we need the infrastructure. For this infrastructure, electronics manufacturing is the crucial backbone. Unless and until we have robust electronics manufacturing within our country, domestic electronic manufacturing, unless we have it, it is difficult to achieve all this automation which we talk about, because we simply can't import from the other countries. It's better if we produce them locally, right? So fourth industrial revolution, for India to be a recipient of the fourth industrial revolution, definitely electronics manufacturing has to be there. This is the first dimension to which we can conclude. Now the second dimension is managing the electronic waste is also equally important. Now on one side we need this growth of electronics manufacturing, but equally important thing is managing the electronic waste. That is the second dimension, right? Sustainable development should be the way forward anytime. So the second thing is managing this e-waste. Environment perspective is the second dimension. The third conclusion is, even the today's newspaper, the IT minister, he says that electronics manufacturing is a step towards self-reliant India. Electronics manufacturing is a step towards self-reliant India. Now, why did he make this statement? He made this statement because only when we improve electronics manufacturing in our India, only then our local products will gain competition. Only then our local products will be competitive. When our local products are meeting the quality standards, only then local supply chains will improve. Now, when local supply chains improve, only then India becomes self-reliant. India becoming self-reliant implies some crucial technologies and production, everything. India itself will have the ability to do it. So the three schemes which the government has introduced, overall objective is to take a step towards this self-reliant India, so that local value chains and local manufacturing will improve.